Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to my little homestead. I just wanted to share today with you some of the natural ways that I basically put fertilizer back in to our soil, and the way that I save these items, such as tea, that I literally take out the tea bags, the coffee grounds, and eggshells. The way that I save my tea is I save the tea bags from when we make tea. We use an actual coffee maker to do that, and just put in the filter and then put the tea bags in. So one way that I go to save the tea leaves pieces is I try to shake it down. So you want to move the tea leaves down as much as possible so you're not tearing or cutting and losing as much. So once I've cut it, I cut off the top, I flip it over and I shake it out. These were used yesterday. It can get a little messy. You can get pieces everywhere. And then I move on to the next. Take my scissors, cut off just below the staple, flip it open, empty it out. Sometimes you can get this to open as well, which makes it easier. So you're basically disassembling the tea bags. Once you've emptied the tea bags, this is basically what you get. You can see here, this is basically what I pulled out. So you want to kind of crumble it out. I use a paper plate because the paper plate will absorb the moisture. And then once I do that, here at my microwave, I usually leave the light on. I place the plate in the microwave, and then I usually leave the light on underneath. So what that does, after I shut the door, I just leave it like that. And so what it does is it heats it up and dries it out. How I collect and save the tea leaves that come out of the tea bags, I put in a coffee container that we either save or got from a friend. I try to recycle where I can, but once they are dried, this is basically what they look like. This is their consistency, so they're dried, and that helps because you don't want to have any moisture left in there to grow any kind of mold or mildew. That's, in my opinion, not very healthy for your plants. So once you take them out, put them in the plate, keep them kind of warm, let them dry out, then just basically you're going to put them back, into a container to continue to collect. So when the spring season comes around, then you can go ahead and have this, or you can take any of the fertilizer material that you have and put it in your garden, and then go to till for your spring garden. Another item that I use is eggshells, and when I get done, I put them on a paper plate. When I crack them in half, put the shells on the plate, stick it in the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time until I'm happy with the fact that, any kind of stuff in here is cooked. You can take that out or leave it. It's up to you. But I use the whole part of the eggshell. Once I've done that, then I just simply crush it after they've cooled, after I've pulled them out of the microwave. Then I also have a coffee can for that. So then I just collect them in here. So this is basically what you get, is all these nice little crushed shells that I will take and crush them as much as possible. This can be messy too. And crunch them down as much as possible. Once I do that, then you can either use a blender that you have, or you can get a blender from, say, like the thrift store, or something cheap from the store like Walmart or something, and just blend it down to like a fine powder, which makes it a little easier for the plants to use. A lot of times I use this for my tomato plants. That way it helps get rid of the blossom rot. Blossom rot is usually a sign of lack of calcium. So then I'll take this and put it in with the plant. When I do plant it, I usually have my own seeds and start them myself, and that way, you know, I will plant my plants with this. Another thing that works is Tums too, because basically that's calcium. But the biggest thing with the eggshells is that you want to have these ready to go for planting tomato plants or any plants that need calcium. Something else that I save are coffee grounds. I basically do mine just like I do the tea bags. I take it out of the filter, dump it into a paper plate. The paper plate helps wick up the moisture. I also set it in the microwave, usually leaving the light on. That produces heat, which dries them out. Another way that you can help dry them out is if you turn your oven on to 200 degrees, put the coffee grounds on a cookie sheet. And if you want, you can put parchment paper over. I haven't tried that method yet. And you're going to put them in the oven for about 30 minutes. Another way that you can recycle your coffee grounds after you've dried them out, or if you don't want to dry them out, is put them in a compost pile and just keep adding them to your compost pile. You can do that with your eggs. You can also do that with your contents from your tea bags, and then just compost it into your garden in the spring, or house plants. Plants just love it. Okay, to go over some extra information with coffee grounds and your tea that you're going to recycle out of your tea bags, that is going to be a form of nitrogen for your plants and your garden. Calcium is going to be your eggshells. For potassium needs, you can use your banana peels. And what you can do is you can take those and throw them in a compost pile, or I've known people to take the banana peel and put them in water, soak them in there, and make kind of like a banana peel tea, I guess, more or less. Then you can water your plants with that if you choose to go that route. Also, wood or pot ash is a form of potassium and calcium. Just make sure that if you're using wood to burn, that you are not using treated wood or lumber. If you use anything that may have staples in it, please make sure you take those out. You do not want those left in your garden, especially if you use a tractor to till. You don't want any kind of parts, metal parts, pieces in your tires. But personally, we just use regular wood that we had cut from trees that have fallen and burn in the burn barrel. Magnesium, a form of that you can use is Epsom salts, just plain Epsom salts. That's really what Epsom salts is magnesium. Another thing that you can use is fish blood, bone meal. That provides a nitrogen, phosphorus, and a calcium. So basically you're kind of recycling simple things to help your garden. If you can't afford or can't get your hands on any kind of fertilizer, those are different ways that you can get and use, make your own fertilizer for your garden, house plants, and they actually work great. I've used a good bit of this, as well as my mother-in-law. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope this will help in your gardening adventures. Thank you. Have a great day.